The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, episode number 328. Tonight's show is brought to you by SeatGeek.com. The SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase. Remember, we are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Go to bellyupsports.com and check out all their great articles and other podcasts as well on bellyupsports.com. Thank you for everybody who takes time out of their day to listen to our show or watch on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel when you get a chance as well. Dave, geez, football season's right around the corner. I could give a fiddler's fuck, but some people actually do. Not so much about the football season, which I do care about, because it started on Saturday for me. The USC Trojans won. But how's your fantasy football research doing? What's you got your number one pick overall going on? How's that going?
Well, you don't ever have a number one pick. You got to pick what's available. It's a one keeper league, so everybody gets to keep one guy. So you got to see who's available. The Broncos did pretty decent last year, so I'm picking towards the bottom. And then we'll see who's available. And I've won it before. I lost in the semis last year, so we'll see what the the football gods have in store, because it's a crapshoot. Like, injuries fuck a team up so quick, and if you can have a running back that plays 17 games, then good for you, because I've never once found one.
Well, that is the thing. Now, there should be more now, because they don't get the ball as much anymore, so it should be a little easier to find one.
It's not. There's like 5 that rake points every fucking week, and there's 15 that have a good day here and there.
Derrick Henry.
I believe someone's going to keep him if he's available. After every team gets to keep a pick of 12 teams, and it makes it to me on 9 on the list, I'll take him.
100%.
I'll take him.
100%.
But no, I'm doing my studying. I'm getting ready. It's really not that scientific. And it kind of did all right for me last year. Injuries cost me, but we'll see what the gods have in store for me this year.
When's your draft? Monday.
It's Monday, a week today.
Monday night.
A week today. I will not be able to join you this time. I will be playing for free, because I won my side bet last year. So I'll be playing for free.
Dave, I was driving downtown Lethbridge today, and there's some crazy shit going on around Southern Alberta right now. There was an incident in Fort Macleod on Saturday night. I don't want to talk about that a whole bunch, but there's crazy stupid stuff. But I was driving downtown Lethbridge today, and there was a guy that it showed his intelligence level. And I we don't get political, we don't. But and I don't care if you like Trump, you like Trudeau, you like this guy. I don't give a fiddler's fuck. But if you are that stupid to have on the back window of your truck, fuck Trudeau, and then my truck is powered by liberal blood, you have to be in consideration for the dickhead of the year.
How small is your dick? Really?
I couldn't believe it. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah,
and then the third, he had on the back windows of his truck, and then the third one says, I like your hot moms or something. Yes, fuck, you're an idiot.
An
absolute idiot.
Moron. Really, you walk around and proud of that, and just so he can roll down his window and tell people to fuck off. Get him to sit down and have it and then talk about it. 5 minutes, he's gonna, you don't know what you're fucking talking about, and he's gonna stomp out and slam the door behind it. Just an absolute maroon.
I couldn't believe. I was just like, oh man. That guy, like, it's people like that. Like, whatever your beliefs are, that's fine. I don't care. Like, you're not going to talk. I'll never see that guy again in my life. I'll see his truck maybe in the wintertime somewhere else. Like, I don't care what your beliefs are, but if you are fucking putting that out there, you're telling the world that you are an absolute jackwagon.
I'm an idiot. I am an idiot.
Like, it's unbelievable. It's crazy. Anyways, the Major League Baseball season kind of weeding itself out a little bit. There's a lot of teams that are kind of just saying, yeah, we're done. The Jays won tonight. They're going to keep their playoff hopes alive, slim playoff hopes as is now, because the American League West is just eating themselves alive, and the way the Texas Rangers kind of just falling off the wagon here, because Aroldis Chapman hasn't been doing very good. It's a shocker. But
Yeah, big games and he gives up home runs, right?
gives up home runs and walks and everything else. But it's funny how, like, the finger pointing comes out right now. It's quite humorous to me how it happens in all sports, because we're at the end of August and the dog days of the whole season, that the finger pointing comes out. First, the owner comes out and says stuff. Then the GM comes out and says stuff. And then the manager comes out and says stuff. Like, when are these guys going to realize that at the end of the day, it's the GM and the owner that are making these decisions, and it's them to blame, and to blame a player and blame it's a bit childish to me.
I don't think it's necessarily childish. Like you're paying these players, and when they underperform, it's head scratching. Like, this is let's talk about the Blue Jays, because that's probably the team I do know the most about, being here, and that's the news you get on the sports radio all the time here. They're ridiculously disappointing. I think they're top 5 in the league in batting average and bottom 5 hitting with runners in scoring position. That's inexcusable.
One guy has 20 home runs on that team. And it happened yesterday. It was August 27th.
And I think the GM has given this team every opportunity to succeed. The pitching staff has been nails this year, and no one thought that. Especially with Hyun-Jin Ryu and Manoah. Is that the guy who
Manoah went down to Never Neverland. Who knows where he even is right now? Yeah.
Exactly. And that was your ace. That was your opening day starter. And they're patching together like ridiculously good starts, like day in, day out. It's not on the pitching. This is all on these big young bats who, this is our year. They've built this team for this year to be a contender for the next couple, and the rubber has hit the road. It's time to fuck or walk, and these guys are walking. They don't want to fuck.
We talk about it a lot, how hard it is to win and how hard it is to build a championship team and everything else, because it's tough. There's no getting around that. And when one guy fails you, like, and I'll say fails you, like Alek Manoah did this year, if they get 10 wins out of that guy, or 7 quality starts, or whatever the metrics are nowadays, they're probably in a wild card spot guaranteed. But now you're in the end of August here, and they don't know where they are, what they're doing. So it's like one guy can make such a difference, because you set your team up for this. I need this many wins from this guy. I need this many wins from this guy. This many home runs from that guy. And if you don't get it, who's to blame? But no one but the player, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think this is just a failure on the team to produce. Like, if no one's having a career year, no one's even everybody's playing underneath their expectation. Like, I don't know how these young boys, the Blue Jays, are expecting to get paid, but they're not going to be making fucking Springer money next year. Who's Springer? I'm not slagging on him. He's a good player. He's been doing well all year.
Yeah.
Like, you got your Bo Bichette and Danny Jansen that are fucking carrying water for this team, and the other big guns are not, and this is not what they assembled this team for. They've been building towards this, and unless you're wanting to take the next step, if the moment's too big for you, the fuck good are you for us? Like, this is it now. This is the show. This is what we've been practicing for, and you're letting us down. You're letting your fans down. And I think this Schneider, I don't think he's an overly good manager. He's not a good manager, but get out there and rake. The guys on the hill are battling for you. and you guys aren't giving them the support that they need. Like that loss on I was over at my mom's house yesterday. My brother-in-law was in town and sister, and he's a Jays fan. So I watched the majority of that game against Cleveland last night. What a fucking travesty. They
bunting and
they-
walking and things and stuff, and just a wreck.
God, there was absolutely no fundamental baseball, and they lost the game, and they deserve to lose the game because you know what? The guys at the plate aren't doing their job. So I'll point a finger.
And that's the thing, like to get away from baseball because there's no real salary cap. But then we get to a team like football has. We need this guy to throw for this many yards. This running back to get like your fantasy football guy needs to have this many yards and everything else, and like carries and la da 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 da. Because the metrics don't like numbers don't lie. Like here, like, yeah, sometimes you fucking you roll into you fall down a rabbit hole and your team turns out all right and you win something that you shouldn't have. But when you're expected the wins, expected goals, expected this, expected that don't match up, like it's a tough go, especially when you have a salary cap league like say hockey. Like let's say if the Calgary Flames don't get whoever the fuck's playing there now,
Jonathan Huberdeau. He went from
like last year, Huberdeau was expected to get 100 points, and he got 60.
It was the biggest point decrease from year to year in
NHL history, I think.
Yeah.
And so there's your season. So can fan bases and can management and can other teammates, not teammates so much because they're not going to point your fingers at a teammate, but can they go like, no, this season, this failure for our season is actually his fault. Like it can't like let's just say the Calgary Flames were going to be a Stanley Cup champion last year, but we suck because of him.
How do you think, like me and my Broncos? Like I couldn't believe it yet last year. I was so excited to have Russ Wilson come there and finally we got a decent quarterback, and he shits a bit, and the coach shits a bit, and then like when you see stuff that shouldn't happen time after time after time, then like why is this continually to happen? Because it's it's okay to make mistakes. Repeating mistakes is not cool, especially when you're getting paid a lot of money. And that's why I think this Nathaniel Hackett was a terrible fucking coach. I don't know what Russell Wilson, like there's Russell Wilson is like his career's on the line this year. If he doesn't play average ball, he's fucking toast. He's gone. Because you can't be making that kind of dough and being a hindrance to the team.
But it gets to a point, what does he care?
Well, we're going to find out.
They're not going to cut him. They're not going to release him, right?
Well, not mid-season, but he won't be on the roster in 2024.
But if they're paying him, he will be. It's a lot of dough to eat.
For a billionaire? Fuck it. Beat it. Go. There's always dough to eat. That's just what you got to do, right? Like if you're in the NFL and if the guy is costing you games, he's not only is he not helping you win, he's doing the opposite. He's helping the other team beat you. And that's what I don't know if D-Russ was doing that or Russell Wilson was doing that so much last year. He wasn't doing anything to win. Like it wasn't interceptions. It's just he was just ineffective. And so I'm hoping Sean Payton can change that around and remind him what his fucking job is as a quarterback in the NFL.
Well, that's one thing about where your Denver Broncos are right now, and I'm actually quite I don't like having a coach move into a position like Sean Payton is. He's considered one of the all-time greats and blah blah blah. New Orleans Saints and Drew Brees and everything else. Won one Super Bowl, which I think you need to win more to be an all-time great as a coach. But there's a lot of pressure on him to be the guy, especially the way he popped off 2 weeks ago saying that Hackett was a bad coach. Like fucking Payton's got a lot of fucking nerve to say something like that about one of his cohorts. If he doesn't deliver, because it's fucking the same thing. Like he might look like a fucking moron come December.
I love it. And I completely agree with you. he can have that pan scrambler all over his face come first week of October if he's not doing it, because it's week 5 they play the Jets, and so we're gonna find out. See what A-Rod can do in with the New York Jets, and we'll see how the Broncos are, because NFL, the AFC is a tough division, and this is going to be a grudge game. I'm looking forward to it, and it's fuck or walk. Denver's been so not good for a while now, since Peyton Manning left, and it's bothering me. It's not the way this organization conducts themselves. They should be better. And I, as a fan, I'm not going to divorce them, but my patience is running thin with the way that organization is being run on a personnel level.
I laugh at your devotion to Peyton Manning being a Denver Bronco.
Well, he won a Super Bowl, right? Like, well, they haven't been good since, right?
They could have had me back there and fucking doing whatever. He's not a Denver Bronco. He's not. They shake your fucking head. He's not a Denver Bronco. You know that, and I know that.
No, that's not true. He set records for him. Like, I think he threw 62 touchdown passes one year. It was ridiculous. The year they lost to Baltimore in like, that's what annoys me about the Peyton Manning years. The year they lost to Baltimore in the AFC Championship game, should have been their Super Bowl, and then they showed up and just shit all over themselves against the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl. That should have been a win right there. And then the year they win the Super Bowl, it's because they had Elite D, and that was Von Miller's team. Peyton Manning, I could piss further than he could throw the ball the year they won that Super Bowl. He was awful.
They would have won with Tim Tebow. Timmy Tebow won a bigger playoff game than fucking Peyton Manning did.
That's not
really
true.
Like, he was he was more of
one game.
He was more of a factor, but he was more of a factor in that.
No,
game.
He wasn't. Tebow was fucking terrible. All my buddies were phoning him up. Tebow Magic, Tebow. I go, he's fucking terrible, man.
Well, he's terrible. Hard of the line.
Terrible.
Like,
Peyton Manning was better than
you
Tim.
Think of,
Peyton Manning's Super Bowl year.
Of the Super Bowls that the Denver Broncos won, John Elway ended his career as a running back, and then whoever the fuck was playing football other than Peyton Manning on that Denver team. The quarterbacks were not factoring in your Super Bowls.
What are you talking about? The two John Elway Super Bowls, the last game he ever played, he was a Super Bowl MVP, man.
Because they just give it to the old guy, and they here you go, man. Thank you.
It says the guy who doesn't watch the games.
No, I watch.
Right?
Thank you for your service. Here's your Super Bowl MVP. You put up some numbers.
Yeah, you are high. John Elway is in the top 3 quarterbacks to ever play this game. So stop it. And the last game he ever played, he was a Super Bowl MVP.
They give those to the quarterback who wins, Dave.
They didn't give it to Peyton Manning.
Because he only had one leg.
Well, I thought you give it to the
You know I'm right, and that's why you're being defensive. You know
I am not being right. How many Super Bowl MVPs has Ben Roethlisberger have?
Oh, that I don't know.
He has 0, right?
I was assuming you would say that, but yeah.
Well, he has 0. So
he wasn't a good guy.
He was not because he wasn't a good guy.
Yes, it is, Dave. If you think that fucking
crazy.
If you think Terrell Davis, right?
Yes. Well, like, he won the MVP the year before.
Yeah.
Yeah. The year they beat Green Bay. And then Peyton won it. Elway won it.
So you couldn't even remember his name.
Well, I couldn't. Because we're talking about Peyton and John. I don't have a Peyton. I don't own a Peyton Manning Denver Broncos.
Because he was a non-factor in Denver. He really, they could have inserted quarterback here, in my opinion.
You're so wrong.
It didn't hurt to have a Hall of Fame guy, but he was at the fucking tail end of his fucking career.
No, but he left 2 on the table. He left 2 on the table. The year against Baltimore, and the year he didn't show up for he choked against Seattle. So that was it. Right. He left 2 on the table. He should have had 3 in Denver, but he
But he
choked in the big room. And then when it's not up to him to win the big game, and that's when they win the big game. And and I think I don't when he got his title with Indy, I do believe he did get the MVP, but that was against the Bears.
I would have no idea.
No, that was against the Bears where Indy won. And I can't remember if that was justified or not. But like I don't know if he threw for 180 yards against Carolina. That was Denver's defense and Von Miller just making.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
Cam
Like
Newton,
anointing these guys the greatest of all time, because everybody else actually wins you one. You give them an MVP just because. Like it's quarterback to the MVPs like goalies in the NHL get Conn Smythes.
Yeah, you're completely right at that.
Yeah,
but
we don't know what that is here. Here you go.
But I never once proclaimed Peyton Manning to be deserving of a Super Bowl MVP. I do believe he won 2 NFL MVPs as a Denver Bronco. And that, like, you're a
Broncos guy.
So
is he an all-time Bronco? Exactly.
He holds passing records, but he's
pretty good.
Yeah, he's the second best quarterback Denver's ever had.
So they've only had 5.
Wow, no,
really?
No. Since Elway's been gone, there's been a lot. Yeah. Yeah,
but you know what I mean. Like they haven't had a lot of guys over the years. Elway was there for so long, and so it's kind of pointing fingers is so easy to do. Like how if it doesn't go right, you fucking this guy, that guy. And it's funny how management does that, and how they throw guys under the bus. It's so funny, and then fan bases throw guys under the bus, like we were just doing here. Like if you don't win and you're this guy and that guy, like it's so funny how we're dialed in. This is the year. And then when it doesn't go right, come game 140, whatever it is in baseball season, come week 10 in NFL, come week 50 in game 50 in National Hockey League, like it's funny how fan bases just turn on guys like right now. Like
get out your phone.
How much fuck off, fuck you, screw that. You made how much? I go to work every day. I do this, do that, and you're like, nope. Yeah, it's funny.
Well, how many times
I would do that for $200,000? Yeah.
But not even that. It's just like, how many more years we got this guy for? And then, Jesus, we got 3 more years of this. How much is he making? And that happens all the time with every fan base, right? Like when you see guys just shitting the bed, and it's just you don't understand. And especially if you had a hate on for a guy that gets acquired as a free agent or in a trade, because why are we doing this guy? Like I said it. It was right around divorce.
Then the other way around, Dave, is there's a parade down Main Street, whatever town, USA, when they sign a guy like, oh, we're gonna win a championship, and it's like, oh, this fucking guy.
Oh, I know. I said it to anybody that would listen. When the Oilers signed Lucic, it's like for 6 years at 6.5. I'm like, Jesus.
My
that
mom
is going to be
a rant about Lucic when he went to the Flames, and holy Christ, she can't stand Lucic. But yeah, it's funny. It's funny. It's really funny how fans just turn on their team, how management can point their fingers, because management signed that guy to that contract. I find it humorous. Like I really do. Like, well, this guy didn't hit this year, so that's why we're where we are, because they want to save their job, right? Well, the metrics say this, and if Vladdy would have hit this, or if Elway would have thrown this, or if that guy would have, ifs and buts and guys and nuts, be Christmas every day.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, it's just fucking, it's crazy. Who's the biggest finger pointer you've ever had in your fandom?
Oh, like where I said like it's all his fault.
Yeah.
I like blaming coaches. The AFC Championship loss to Baltimore, it was John Fox, the coach. I don't know if you remember that. Baltimore tied it up with a Hail Mary and then they left 90 seconds on the clock. Peyton Manning, the NFL MVP, with one timeout. John Fox chose to take 2 knees and send it to overtime. You don't think that fucker could have got 40 yards in 90 seconds? Like, I was just flabbergasted.
That's a bad decision.
It's a terrible decision. First I wanted him fired the second that pass was completed, because how do you let someone get behind you? And then second, when they didn't go for a field goal, they had the kicker that had that owned I think what was his name? Treadwell. It's not important, but he owned the NFL's longest field goal kick ever. And they didn't let him try a 60, like try and get 30 yards and try a 62-yarder. Like that blows my mind. It blew my mind. And you know, and then like I want him fired. I want him fired. Like I would have been like, if I had a bat phone, I would have picked up the bat phone. I would have been like in Tropic Thunder, the Tom Cruise character.
I never saw that.
Oh, you didn't you? I'll give it a watch. It was like, hey, who's
won't.
He was phoning. He's a producer, movie producer, and they were filming in Vietnam or something like that. And like, who they're on video thing. Who's the head grip? Me. Walk over to the director. Walk over to him. Punch him in the face. What? Punch him in the face right now. And he punched him in the face. He goes, "You're costing me $2 million a day," and he just ripped into him. And like, and saying like, "Who? Get me the towel boy." Walk up to John Fox and punch him in the face. Oh, I was so mad. It was the single worst. Like he should have never been on an NFL staff of any decision-making ability for the rest of his career. That was so bad. It was so bad.
Is he now? Retired probably.
Probably retired, but you know, I think actually Chicago hired him as a head coach.
People still call him coach and he goes for coffee and hey coach.
Hey fuckface, that's what I'd call him.
Fucking drives. Hey coach.
Hey fuckface.
Nuts. Like watching fucking hey chef. Like watching fucking cooking. Well, I watched a movie on Saturday night. I don't know why I'm going to talk because you were talking about movies and things. Crazy Stupid Love. Have you seen it?
I do not
Steve
believe
Carell and
yeah, and good-looking Canadian guy.
Yeah, whatever his name is. Yeah. Really fun movie. Yeah, it was a fun movie.
It was enjoyable. Yeah,
Marissa Tomei and everything. Yeah, no, it was a fun movie.
It was teaching him how to pick up chicks until he found out he was picking up his daughter
and his wife and blah blah. No, it was actually a lot of fun. Anyways, it was a fuck me. It was a blast in the past a little bit. It was funny. It was quite a good movie. Anyways, the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, Fort Beer Sports Talk, and a whole lot more. This segment was brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase.
You just listened to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. Fort Beer with Sports Talk and a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Let's get into it.